Welcome back to a Nosebleed Perspective, and we are on part 2 of our wide receiver fantasy rankings. We're going to be going through our rankings from 20 through 11. Like I said, this is going to be the very, very, very tail end of wide receiver 1/wide receiver 2, and maybe possibly some flexes. We're just going to kick this thing off with number 20. I'll start, and number 20, I have Stephon Diggs. Okay, so you guys had this guy in our first episode a little bit lower than me, but I think a new start, a new city, a new team can be good for some guys, and a guy like this, I think, definitely could benefit from this. We saw somebody like John Brown produce last year in fantasy. I think he used to play there.
Diggs.
Yep. Stephon Diggs, he can definitely produce, and he's a very talented receiver, like you guys hit on. So he's going to be a guy who could win you your league or absolutely lose your league. So he could end up a top 10 wide receiver in fantasy or below a top 30 in fantasy. So, but I do like him with Josh Allen. I think they complement each other well. He has a big arm. He's a guy who likes to get downfield. Would I take him a little bit higher in a standard league? Absolutely. But he still breaks into my top 20 just because the potential, the talent with this guy. So, Cole Beasley is, like I mentioned before in a previous episode, is kind of Allen's security blanket. But I do like Stephon Diggs to get those big points and those big plays. So that's why I have at 20.
Yeah, so I'll take another standard league guy because this guy only had 52 receptions last year in A.J. Brown. He's still on a ground and brown team. Every team is going to have film on the Ryan Tannehill offense. That offense completely changed whenever they went to Ryan Tannehill. He's great at yards after catch, yak yards, but the volume scares me. So that's why he's only going to be my wide receiver 2, and he's going to have to be a wide receiver 2 on a team that I love, my wide receiver 1. O-line's not going to be as good as we've talked about several times, so that's also a scare. He's a late wide receiver 2.
Nice. All right, I got a dude that I think it was Logs that already talked about him. Yeah, Logs. So somebody has to catch the ball in Jacksonville, like the Logs said, and that's going to be DJ Chark. This dude was pivotal in a trade I made in fantasy last year that ended up putting DeAndre Hopkins on my team. Because in the beginning of the season, DJ Chark was just absolutely crazy. It wasn't our league; it was another league. It was my Korea league. DJ Chark was just blowing up, and the dude has so much potential. He can catch the ball. He's quick. He can jump. Like he's got the skill sets a wide receiver needs. He's just on a bad football team. On a team that has a good quarterback and maybe another wide receiver that is actually like competitive and worthy of covering, DJ Chark. Okay, if you put DJ Chark on the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he's lining up with Juju Smith-Schuster,
Probably better than Juju.
It would be tough. And defenses wouldn't know if they should like double one guy or double the other guy because both dudes are capable of doing some dangerous things on offense. So DJ Chark, I think, is very underrated and is going to produce some serious numbers in fantasy.
So real quick on DJ, I think if you're in a league with auto drafters, people who are not going to be there, DJ Chark is going to be somewhere near third, fourth, fifth, sixth round. He's going to be a mid-round pick. But if you're in a league, I'll say. So Gibby's saying he's going fifth usually. If he's not, if you're drafting in a league who's live drafting, people are not going to look at this guy and say that's a sexy pick. They're not going to go after him. They're probably going to go for someone else than him. But if you're an auto draft league, obviously you got those assholes who are auto drafting. He's going to be taken because he's going to be just up there somewhere. So
absolutely,
just a little. Whatever. But okay. So number 20, let's go to number 19 here. All right. So here's why I have Tyler Lockett. I like Tyler Lockett a lot. I think he's a good receiver in the NFL, but I think with my, idea of DK Metcalf kind of progressing, it's going to take away a lot of looks for Tyler Lockett, and that's the only reason I have him, kind of digressing a little bit towards the 19 position. Last year he finished number 13 overall in fantasy points, but I think that kind of goes down a little bit just because DK's progression. But he's proven to have that trust with Russell Wilson. He's his number one, and he's always produced. But I don't know. It's hard for me to, like I said, take any Seattle skill positions, but I do like him as my wide receiver 2, not wide receiver 1, though.
Yeah, for sure. Well, unfortunately, I kind of feel bad because I know Logson has bias towards Seattle, but I got Tyler Lockett at 19 as well.
Let's go.
Hot
Nice.
Lockett. Hot Lockett just kind of scares me because one week he could have 2 catches and the next week he could have 10.
Yep.
You just never know. This is still a run-first team. I don't care who the running back is. It's still Russell Wilson's, run the ball, establish the ground and pound, and play action off of it. And, Hot Lockett topped 1,000 yards last year for the first time in his 5-year career. So he's Devontae Parker. To me, that's a better route runner. So to me, these guys are pretty similar. DK rising up only helps him to me. So he's a boomer bust guy. So if you have a solid wide receiver 1, you can take him. If you got a risky wide receiver 1, please take a safer option than Hot Lockett.
Interesting choice. All right. We'll discuss that later on. At number 19, I've got Keenan Allen. This is where I'm fitting this guy in. He's already been talked about. Gibby already roasted him up at what was that, number 20. See, the dude is a sick route runner, absolute monster. However, the LA Chargers are just not prepared to be treating wide receivers like Keenan Allen with the respect that they should be getting. Keenan Allen is an absolute stud at wide receiver. However, Tyrod Taylor is not the right quarterback for that. Mike Williams has the fly routes locked down. Keenan Allen is the guy that they're going to throw the ball to when they need 10 yards to get a first down. But he's just not going to shine like he should be shining. And he's on the tail end of his career as well. He's getting a little up there in age. I think that Keenan Allen starts to fade away. Mike Williams starts to come up. And that's why I have Keenan Allen as just like a mid-range wide receiver this year.
Solid.
Okay. Yeah, so you're kind of throwing me a lot here. And it, so this is what, 18?
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 18, I have Keenan Allen. It's so hard to put him this low because the dude is so talented, like you guys said.
Yeah.
But with Tyrod Taylor as the quarterback or Justin Herbert or whatever, whoever the hell's playing quarterback, I can't trust him to be as productive as he's been. I mean, he had the 6th most points last year, fantasy-wise, for wide receivers, and he missed a game. Like, obviously, and year after year, if you've had him on your team, he's produced. He's been a guy who is a solid wide receiver 1, and I was surprised that most leagues he's probably going to go, I don't know, 2nd round, 3rd round, probably. So it's going to be somebody that obviously us 3 are never going to have on our fantasy teams. And you never know. He could still remain consistent, but I just see his value decreasing a little bit. Man, it's tough. But, Keenan Allen's he's a monster. Who knows? He could still produce. He could still get touchdowns. So, but for me, he's gonna be right on that borderline of, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. But I'm not taking him WR1 for me.
So at 18, I got a wide receiver that I don't like. I'm not going to get him because he's way going way too high. He's actually going in the 3rd round, the beginning to the middle of the 3rd round at 18 for me. So I know that I'm probably a little biased. This is a run-heavy team. I got Adam Thielen from the Minnesota Vikings here. He's a great route runner. You can't deny that. This guy runs great routes. He has no speed, and he turns 30 this year. And as you all can tell from our previous episodes, I'm just not a big Kirk Cousins believer. So whoever his wide receiver one is just isn't going to produce the way that I expected. That's why I have Adam Thielen as my wide receiver 2. I'm not going to get him because he's going in the 3rd round. Even if he goes in the 4th, I'm not there. I'm not taking this guy till 6. So I'm never going to have him on my team, but I have to put him at 18 just out of respect.
Right.
That's fair. All right, so at 18, I've got a dude started to talk about too again, Calvin Ridley, and he might be better than 18 in the league. However, the fact that he is being outshined by Julio Jones makes him he's definitely a WR2. Like I will definitely start Calvin Ridley at WR2 this season if I can draft him in fantasy because I know he's going high in the draft. I know what he's capable of doing. I know that he can catch the ball, and he's a WR1 that just happens to be sitting behind a top 2, top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. On 29 other football teams, he's a WR1. So Calvin Ridley, the absolute beast, but he's my number 18 in this fantasy draft.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, this dude, man, you never know because you never know if teams are going to catch on to Calvin Ridley actually being an absolute monster. So if that does happen, do people cover him more, leave Julio open a little more? I don't know.
Yeah. Plus, they got rid of Hooper too. Like they don't have that tight end threat anymore. I think that he's going to stand up. Yeah.
I mean, it's a good point. I mean, Hooper was an absolute monster, especially in the red zone last year. I think he had a touchdown probably every fucking game last year.
Yeah, he was a solid tight end pickup.
Yeah. Okay. So number 17 now is I'm going to go with Amari Cooper here. He's proven himself in the league, but with the addition of CeeDee Lamb alongside Michael Gallup, like Gibby talked about, it's hard for me to put these players in skill positions with a good committee at a high level. Like I'm not taking Amari Cooper as my WR1 at all. I'm not doing it. No chance. Like that, he has to fall to me in a perfect position. Probably. I put him up here out of respect. I mean, I think his value definitely decreases, but I'm not taking him with my first 4 picks. I don't think, honestly, at all. So, yeah, I have Amari Cooper here. That receiving core is going to be too good. Zeke he's just going to eat as always, and CeeDee Lamb's going to want to prove himself. Michael Gallup's on the upcoming. He's going to want to work towards a contract. So, yep, that's what I have here. And it probably, honestly, don't take Amari Cooper with your first 3 picks because I'm probably rating him too high, honestly, because the guys I like above him are like a lot better. So.
Well, now I feel like a piece of shit because I hate Amari Cooper and I have him way higher, but I was scared that you guys would have him even higher, so I put him too high, I guess, but it's all right. So I thought I would be the last guy to talk about the man that I'm about to talk about, but I guess I'll be the first guy, Odell Beckham. And I'm a big Odell Beckham fan. I got him at 17, man. Oh, my God. I feel like such an asshole right now.
Nope, but you shouldn't. You should feel good.
So incorrect. You're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm wrong. I am wrong. But I was just scared with everything. He's a wide receiver, too, to me, just because the value. He's going to the 4th round. Tell me I can get ODB in the 4th round. Please tell me I can get ODB
really?
in the 4th round.
I don't know if I take
Everyone was hating on him last year because his numbers were bad, but this dude was injured all last year. Yeah. His talent is off the charts. But can Baker Mayfield link up with him is the real question. It's been the question on the show since the show started. It's the ODB Baker tour. I hope it comes to light. I hope ODB is my wide receiver 2 on this team. And I'm an asshole because I have him as the lowest ranking person in this show.
You thought I was gonna be the guy.
I thought he was 27th in your rank.
Trust me. It was hard for me to not put him there or out of the conversation completely. Anyway,
you guys are out of your fucking minds.
I know.
Anyway,
I apologize. Fuck.
Anyway, at number 17, this is where I have, according to Gibby, old man Adam Thielen. I mean, the dude, he catches 97% of what's thrown his way. Obviously, that's not the actual number, but he seems to just catch everything that's thrown his way. Stephon Diggs is no longer on this football team, which is good and bad for Adam Thielen. Well, it's good for him because it gives him more targets. It's bad for him because the defense no longer has to worry about Stephon Diggs. Every year for the past few years, Adam Thielen has just been an absolute monster, and he's just that sleeper guy that like you like kind of forget even exists in the league. And then week 1 happens and he puts up 17. Week 2 happens and he puts up 19. Week 3 happens and he puts up 22. You're just like, who is this guy? What's happening? It's ridiculous. Everybody's ripping on Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins is definitely the wild card on this football team. So I just don't know if Adam Thielen's going to be a WR1 on a fantasy football team. But if you can snag him for your WR2, that's my guy.
Nice. Good. For real.
Hey, yep. All right, so we are on number 16 now. Okay, so Gibby, me and you, I'm glad you actually decided to put this person pretty low.
Oh my God.
Odell, look, this is where I have Odell.
Disrespect.
I can't do it, man. I can't do it because of Baker being the quarterback. And I don't give a shit what the fuck you guys say. This dude is not a good quarterback, number one. Number 2, the options on offense do not favor him. When he was in New York, he had Eli Manning, who was just flinging that bitch to Odell. A clock strikes noon twice in a day, or whatever the fuck that saying is, or
A broken clock is correct.
yeah,
Right,
something like
twice
that.
a day. Yeah.
Whatever the fuck. I don't know. I'm kind of drunk right now. We've been drinking for a few episodes. Look, we saw what he did last year, and let me read a few receivers that did better than him.
He was
year in
hurt.
fantasy.
He was hurt.
He played 16 games.
He was hurt.
He played
He's got
16
integrity.
games. Michael Gallup, A.J. Brown, John Brown, Cortland Sutton, Tyler Boyd, DJ Chark, DJ Moore, Jarvis Landry, his teammate, and Devontae Parker all produced a lot better than Odell Beckham Jr.
All WR1.
Okay. One question. The floor for Odell is obviously low. Do any of them players have the ceiling that Odell has?
Absolutely not. No chance. No, I'm not disagreeing with you there. No, this dude is a top 5 to 3 talent in the NFL and wide receiver position. That's why he's went. Like if you would have like looked at drafts, mock drafts 2 years ago, 3 years ago, first round, probably first 5 picks. But I don't trust him in this offense. I don't trust him with a new offensive coordinator or head coach. I don't trust him with Baker Mayfield. You guys know how I feel. But his talent is enough to put him at the wide receiver 2 position for me. So, yeah. That's who I have.
All right.
That's understandable. I'll go with another guy you hate. This man is only 23 years old, so I don't know why you hate him so much. But the big question is, can he carry the number 1 wide receiver burden? Juju Smith-Schuster for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I got him at 16. Big Ben coming back is going to give him huge upside if he comes back healthy. I don't know if Big Ben does that, though, and that's really where it comes up there. Take safer options if they're available than Juju. But if Juju's there, he's going in the 3rd round. I'm not grabbing him in the 3rd round. It's not happening.
Hell no.
But if Juju somehow falls, maybe you're in a league where no one likes the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I think might be our league. But just wait. Just wait on Juju.
All right. Interesting. All right. So at number 16, I've got old T.Y. Hilton. Absolute beast. He's getting a little up there in age. Just start worrying about injuries. You got now they have Phillip Rivers playing quarterback over there. And so that's why I think that T.Y. kind of has like a comeback year this year, because I think the last year he was a little forgotten about. I mean, obviously he's been dealing with injuries, and he's just I mean, he's just getting old. He's an older wide receiver because he's had great years in the NFL, and you got to put some respect on his name. The Ghost, T.Y. Hilton, number 16, absolute stud. If he's available to me in the if I'm drafting late, so if I'm late in the third round, I'll probably take Ty.
Yeah, I mean, he's done nothing but produce whenever he's actually
He's
playing.
going in the 5th.
He's going in the 5th.
Ooh.
Fuck, dude,
if you can get him in the 5th, if you can get him as a flex, definitely take that.
Yeah, that's disrespectful.
All right, so number 15, this is where I have Devontae Parker. Look, I know you guys hate him, and I'm probably a little biased, but
Very.
look, this dude
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I can't imagine why you'd be biased.
You got a jersey, a hat, and a flag.
This dude had the 4th most reception yards in the league last year. I know you guys don't like the fact that he probably got looked at, and this year people are going to pay a lot more attention to him. But I just think he's the guy over there. I think he, he was tied for 3rd with total touchdowns too. It's not like he just got yards and was one of those guys. But Fitz trusts him. If Tua comes in, he's going to be the guy who he's looking towards. So I just like him as my early wide receiver too. But honestly, I think people won't go after him. Is this the guy I'm going to take with my first pick when it wraps around to my pick in the 2nd round? Absolutely not. But if it comes to me in the 3rd round, I'm going to look at him for sure and see what the league looks like, see what my team looks like. If he's available in the right situation, I like him to finish as top 15.
So Miami Dolphin is in your
it's
top
crazy,
36.
Right? Absolutely crazy. I know.
All right. So what round do you think that people are drafting him at?
So like I said, this is Nosebleed perspective. I have no idea what
just
he's about. No, I know so he's looking it up right now. I'm guessing right now. The round that people I think are taking Devontae Parker are 5, 6.
Good, great job.
Yeah.
Last pick in the 6th round.
So
this is average spot.
My point exactly. If you can get him as your flex or your late round, like if you have 2 really good running backs and 1 good receiver, if you can get Devontae Parker in the 5th, 6th round as that WR2, take him. Why not? Why the fuck not? So it's just my point. I think he finishes top 15. So.
15. So my top 15, I hate to be the first person every damn time. I feel like my list sucks. But I'm going to go with a guy with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's 7th all time in receiving yards in his first 6 years in his career. Okay. Imagine if this guy stayed healthy in the first 6 careers. I'm going with the beast, Mike Evans. Unfortunately for him, he's got a super safe quarterback who's just going to hit check downs and slant routes, and that's not Mike Evans' thing. He gets coke heads drafted, baby. That's what he does. But Brady doesn't have the same arm strength that he has before, and to me, that's why Mike Evans is a wide receiver 2 and not a wide receiver 1. If you had him last year, he would get you 30 points or 10 points with a guy that just slang the rock. So I'm really pissed at myself, but I got Mike Evans at 15.
You just broke my brain with that one.
Sorry.
That's impressive, but all right, that's fair. So this is a dude that both of you guys already talked about here. For me, number 15 is Juju. I love Juju. Juju's my guy. Juju, I've won bets off of Juju. So I mean, like, Juju's what got what figured out our groomsmen standing positions.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, there was literally just a little background for you Nosebleed fans. Logs so me and Gibby were playing each other in fantasy, and Logs said whoever wins this game is going to stand like. So his dad was best man, and then it was whoever won that game between me and Gibby would be the next person behind his dad. And Juju Smith-Schuster absolutely popped off for me on a Monday Night Football game and won me that game, got me standing in front of Gibby. So I'm a huge Juju fan. I'll always be a huge Juju fan. I do believe that losing Antonio Brown definitely hurt his position as a wide receiver because I do think that Juju was a better WR2 than he is a WR1. However, the dude's so young, he just needs to just grow a little more and just mature a little more. And I think that like I mean, what is he? I think he's 22 now, going to his third season in the NFL.
Yeah, it's super
So,
young.
that's absolutely insane. So, Juju has so much capital, especially with Big Ben in the pocket instead of those idiots that were playing quarterback for the Steelers last year. I think Juju's going to have a comeback season, and he's going to be it.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. So we're on to number 14 now.
Yep.
Dude, Juju's going to suck. All right. Anyway.
Fuck you.
Number 14. So I put DJ Moore here. Carolina Panthers wide receiver. He finished number 16 overall wide receiver fantasy points last year. He took a huge step forward in his second year, and I like him to get a little better with a little better quarterback play. Kyle Allen, Teddy Bridgewater, I don't care what you say. It's
better.
It's better. It's a little step forward. So I like DJ Moore. I think they're figuring out how to use him in the offense too. He's going to get a lot of sweeps. He's going to get a lot of routes out of the slot and out of the outside. He's a fast guy. So I like him. I think Teddy can probably work with him. And, he averaged 15.4 points per game last year, but he only had 4 touchdowns. And he still finished, top – he was number 16, and he only had 4 touchdowns. So I think that only increases this year. And like I said, better quarterback play will lead to better results. So I like him, and that's why I have to put him in the top 15.
Yeah, that's good point, man. I'm gonna go with Minshew Nation's wide receiver 1 and DJ Chalk at 14. I would love to have him as my wide receiver 2. For the first 11 weeks, he was wide receiver number 5 in the league, and then for some reason they just couldn't decide who to play quarterback. Okay, DJ Chalk is dominating. And they're like, oh, we'll go with this guy. We'll go with this guy. We'll go with this way. Whatever. And he got a high ankle sprain. So after that, obviously it's going to be tough to play off there. I believe in Minshew Nation as long as we're talking fantasy, not winning a Super Bowl, not being productive in football, but as a fantasy, putting $100 on the line, I believe in Minshew Nation. And I think DJ Chalk is a very talented wide receiver, so that's why I would love to have him as my wide receiver too.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice. Good choice. All right, so number 14, I've got Cooper Kupp. This is my second Rams wide receiver here. Cooper Kupp has obviously proven himself to just be capable of catching damn near anything that's thrown his way. The dude's quick. He moves with a sense of purpose everywhere he's going. He's always trying to beat that defender, and he can catch almost anything that Jared Goff can throw his way. And I mean, I think this might be the only team other than – okay, so I've got the Browns that have 2 wide receivers on here. So other than the Browns, the Rams are the only team – and the Falcons, yeah. So Browns, Falcons, Rams. Only teams I have – never mind, type Tampa Bay. I'm sorry. I apologize.
There are some teams,
Okay, the Rams are within the top 5 football teams in the NFL that I have 2 wide receivers that I'm drafting.
Core,
yeah. They have a solid receiving core, and I might have totally disrespected Robert Woods, but he disrespected me last fantasy season. So, on the contrary to that, Cooper Kupp is just an absolute beast in the slot. He gets open, he catches everything. I think he's a great wide receiver, number 14 for me.
Man. So you're just not a believer in the Rams passing game.
Jared Goff is trash.
I don't think so, man. I really don't. And I'm not just saying that because I'm biased.
Ignore the Donald jersey in the back.
I really think he's whatever.
Jared Goff is Sam Darnold without ghosts.
No, I think Jared Goff is actually a good quarterback. Anyway. All right, so we're gonna go to number 13 now. All right, so this is where I'm gonna put Julian Edelman.
Ooh.
Yep.
You got the Patriots on there twice. Interesting.
Yep.
I got the
So
Patriots on here. Never.
Edelman finished 7th overall in fantasy last year with wide receivers, and the only reason he was nearly this close is because of the addition of Cam Newton. Just because, like with Stidham, I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea. So I do like Edelman this year.
He's not tall, right?
I'm not going to say he's my wide receiver 1, but if he falls in that position where so the way I draft, I'm going to take it depends. If I have a top 3 receiver or top 3 pick, I'm going to take maybe a running back, probably. And then after that, I'm probably going to take receivers. I'm not taking Edelman with my first 3 picks, but I do like Edelman this year, actually. It's not a popular opinion, maybe. And maybe you guys have him lower than me, higher. I have no idea, but look out for him. This is where I have him. So number 13, yeah. I think he had 153 targets last year. 153. That was probably like top 2 or 3 in the league last year, besides Michael Thomas, probably. So does that decrease? Absolutely, with Cam Newton. Absolutely. But he's still the guy. He's going to be Cam's security blanket. We'll see what happens. But, yeah.
Okay, so Edelman was – not that it matters, but Edelman was 31 for me. So at the very last minute, I never tinker. But my CEO has been tinkering all week with this list, so I had to put Scary Terry at 30 over Julian Edelman. I literally had Julian Edelman 5 minutes before our show started, but at 14, I got wait, we're on 13, right?
13.
So I got the worst of the 2 LA Rams wide receivers. I got Cooper Kupp.
Crazy.
I know this is low for this guy that he had such a successful season last year, and he's great in the red zone, man. But I'm worried about how much that this team at the late of the season when they were successful, how often they ran 2 tight end sets. They ran a lot of 2 tight end sets, and I feel like for the red zone, that's going to hurt him. So I feel like his touchdowns are going to go down. So I feel like that's why he's a WR2 for me. And it's tough, man. So he's a WR2 for me. I don't want him as my wide receiver 1 just because of them 2 tight end sets. And I could be completely wrong about that. I'm trying to get in Sean McVay's head, and you all know I'm not smart enough to do that, but I'm trying to find a way. And I feel like he loved the 2 tight end sets, and they're going to run 3 running backs this year in the red zone. So that's why Cooper Kupp is wide receiver 2, the number 1 wide receiver 2 for me this year.
All right, so at number 13, this is we discussed this actually. This is someone that I somehow forgot about as a human being, but they've been on my fantasy team for the past couple of years now. Whether in one league or another league, I've always tried to go for this wide receiver. And there's somebody I start week after week after week, and that's Tyler Lockett. And I had to figure out a way to slide him in here without like just absolutely killing someone, and I did. Tyler Lockett is just he catches almost anything that comes to him. He's quick. He beats defenders. I mean, the dude is a great WR1, and now that he has a respected WR2 lining up on the opposite side of the field with him, I think that like defenders they're gonna have to think twice to either double Tyler or to cover to single man Tyler and to single man DK, and all of a sudden one of them's gonna get that ball. So it's the Seattle wide receiver core is gonna be very interesting this year, but I still think this might be the last year that Tyler Lockett outshines DK Metcalf, but this is this year, and Tyler is the man for this season.
That's a good point. I know, because, I mean, big DK guy here, so.
Yeah, loves DK.
Yeah.
DK on flag routes.
All right, so number 12. This is where I put Adam Thielen. Look, I know he probably he's gonna fall to probably what, third, fourth round for a lot of leagues. But I think adding Justin Jefferson was probably the best thing that could ever happen to him. Obviously, Stephon Diggs on the other side of him helped him out, opening up a lot of secondary coverage. But I do like the fact that they drafted him and Justin Jefferson, that is. And, he was hurt last year. He didn't get to prove himself. When he was in the game, he did. He produced.
Yeah.
So I like him to fall. If you can get him as your wide receiver too, take him, because he's going to probably fall because he's a no-name actually this year. So in my opinion, he falls. Gibby, do you have the draft position now or no? It's okay if you don't.
For which one?
Thielen. It's okay. Anyway, but I think he'll fall in a lot of leagues. So if you can get him as your wide receiver too, I think it's a good move. So, that's why I have at the end of the year, I think Thielen finishes here. So
Nice.
Thielen's going pretty high at the third round.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
But for me, at 12, I got to take a guy that I thought you all would take lower at Calvin Ridley for the Falcons. I'm literally okay with this guy being my wide receiver number one if I got two solid running backs. Talent has never been a question. So for stat purposes, there's only 10 routes a wide receiver can run, okay? And
Oh boy.
8 of them, he's in the top 30% of getting open in all of them. So, whatever that stat means to you, this man gets open like no one else in the league.
Why do you think that is though?
Because he's got another guy on the other side. He never faces the best corner. And for fantasy, I don't give a damn how you get your points.
I guess that's true.
Get your points. This man gets open like no one else, whether they're facing zone. And a lot of teams have to play zone because of Julio. They cannot man up. Very few teams can man up on Julio. So this guy's going to face a lot of zone. And he is so smart at that. And the volume is going to be there for him to be a wide receiver one. So that's why I have Calvin Ridley as my wide receiver one.
Nice. Okay. Solid. So this is where I've got it. What's up?
No,
You want to defend?
Are you taking him with your second pick overall?
I would take him with my fourth.
That's way
running back, wide receiver, or wide receiver 2 as my fourth round. I would love to have Calvin Ridley in my fourth pick.
I guess it depends.
So what if you're okay? But you're only taking your running back if you're in like the top 4 picks. So if you're
I'll take a wide receiver. I'll take a running back in 10.
Okay, so you have the 6th pick.
Okay.
Are you taking Ridley in the 3rd round or 2nd round?
6. Yeah, that'd be the middle of the
yeah,
4th.
so you're always
middle of the 4th. Absolutely, 100%. I'd take Calvin Ridley at the middle of the 4th.
He won't be on your fantasy team this season. All right, so I mean that's just the truth. He won't be there. At number 12, this is where I've got the Carolina Panthers, DJ Moore. DJ Moore was an absolute stud last season. I started him, I think, I started him every game last season on my fantasy team because I was all in on that dude. Like, and there were some weeks where he was good for 20 points. Like, I could guarantee, homie's gonna put up 20 this week. And there were very few weeks where he actually let me down. DJ Moore is an absolute stud of a wide receiver. I think he's very underrated in the NFL. And I think that a lot of people disrespect the Carolina Panthers offense. I know that I said that they're going to go 3-13. I get that. I understand that. I disrespected their offense. However, DJ Moore is a wide receiver I want on my fantasy football team. That if he's available in the 3rd, I'm taking him.
Yeah, so DJ Moore, he finished number 16 last year, fantasy point wise. So I mean,
with a shitty quarterback,
with Kyle Allen who could not throw the ball over 5 yards. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. All right, so
I think he's a steal.
He's a
stud. I mean,
he's a fucking stud.
Like you said, he's not a He's not a name people are going to reach for. So
Yeah.
if he
It's not
falls to you,
sexy.
Yeah, he's not a sexy pick, but he can win you a belt. I won't
Yeah.
pick it up.
all right. So our last one, number 11, right now. All right. So this was really hard, but I have Allen Robinson here. I wanted to put him so much higher than this. I really did, guys. And Bears fans, I'm sorry. But listen to this. Only Julio and Michael Thomas had more targets than this guy last year. This dude is the offense, the offense on the Chicago Bears. Assuming the quarterback play, goes in like the upward, projection or whatever. I don't know. Who's to say it even does? This is like I said, it's a huge maybe, but he's a consistent guy who can win you your league. If you need a wide receiver one and say you take a running back first and you need a receiver who's going to like kind of fill that gap, who's going to be that guy, Allen Robinson is going to be there probably. He's not like a popular name, but he is a guy who's an absolute beast in PPR leagues especially. So look out for him. I like him a lot. I hope he falls to me, but I don't think he will. But yeah, I like him a lot. So look out for Allen Robinson last year. Next,
Like you said,
sorry.
DJ Moore, not a big name. He's not going to the 4th. So that's pretty awesome. I have to talk about a guy that I hate, so I'm going to wrap this up real quick. It's Amari Cooper for the Cowboys. Don't draft him. I think he's overrated. I said earlier he only had 10 more catches and played 2 more games than Gallup. He finished wide receiver 43 from week 11 on. I'm not drafting this guy, but I'm trying super hard to not be biased. Don't draft him. Amari Cooper 11. Move on with life.
So a guy you hate, you put at 11.
Yeah, because he is a wide receiver. He's a wide receiver 1 on a team that's really good, but I'm not picking him. He's going stupid high in the 2nd round, and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that.
No,
You don't believe in him.
People are really.
But I have to. I have to put him at 11 just out of respect. For some reason, he's a Raiders guy, so frick him. But
interesting.
That means
fuck. In adult language. So at number 11, I'm now paired up with Logs on this one. I also have Allen Robinson, which before this episode, we were discussing somebody that I forgot. I was able to manipulate my roster to make it work for me. And Allen Robinson like you said, he had all the targets in the world last year, but maybe Mitch Trubisky just overthrew him a lot, underthrew him. This year he's got Big Dick Nick over there that might help him out a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. I don't believe in the Bears whatsoever, so it makes it very difficult to actually try and believe in a wide receiver on their football team. Because honestly, like if this was like the EPL where the bottom teams went down and teams moved up, and if we had that with the NFL and the XFL, like I wouldn't mind seeing the Bears removed from the NFL and seeing like the St. Louis Battlehawks or something like that come up to the NFL.
The Bears are winning the division.
They are not. The Bears are trash. But Allen Robinson, he's just they have to throw the ball to somebody, and he fortunately is the guy that they're going to throw the ball to. So Allen Robinson's my number 11.
Yeah, he's one of the most underrated, consistent players in the league for sure.
For sure.
Like you're not going to
you forget he exists. Like it's easy to forget that he exists.
Very easy.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's been our second part of the wide receiver rankings. So leave us some comments or whatever the hell you think, and we'll be back with our top 10 coming up soon. That is, number. All right. Yep. So take care. All right.